It is the start of a new year, so seemingly everybody has now become a burnout coach overnight as we continue to see burnout rising and everybody thinking that burnout is a really clever word just to put all over their websites and their marketing and their social media feeds. So everybody's talking about it, but not every coach is capable or even ready to be coaching burnout. So in this video, I want to talk to you about the 4 different types of burnout coaches as I see it, why this matters, why it's important, and I suppose really why as clients and as coaches, right, we need to be holding each other to account even more. We know that coaching is, I suppose, can be a very unethical space. Right, there's no controls, there's nothing we have to sign up to, there's no standard code of conduct, it's not regulated. Anybody can wake up tomorrow and call themselves a coach, and what I'm seeing more and more of is lots of people just waking up and deciding, you know, I'm just going to coach burnout, and they're doing more harm than good. Now, I'm doing everything that I can to raise the standards, not just in burnout coaching, but in coaching in general. I believe that if coaching is not burnout informed, then it is not safe. We can include that in another video. But in this video, as I said, I want to talk to you about the 4 different types of coaches or burnout coaches as I see it, why it matters, and I suppose how to spot them and what it is that you need to be doing to be asking these people to prove what it is that they're talking about, right? So these 4 different types as I see it. Number 1, we have what I will call the kind of buzzword bingo brigade, right? Or the burnout buzzword bingo brigade. So they're number 1. We then have number 2, and these are the coaches that have got like burnout experience, right? They've lived it and maybe they've come through the other side. The third type that we have burnout informed coaches, and then we have the master burnout coaches, or the full true burnout coaches. I train and accredit and qualify burnout informed coaches and master burnout coaches. This is not a sales video. I'm going to talk to you about what I see in each of these categories anyway. So don't worry, I'm not here to pitch. I want to talk to you about these 4 types. So let's talk about the burnout buzzword bingo brigade. Firstly, these are coaches. Some will be qualified, some will not. Some will be accredited, some will not. But these are ones that are just putting burnout on their website, right? Or they're just talking about it on their socials. They're seeing more and more people talking about burnout in the news. They're seeing more and more of their clients mention, "Oh, I'm feeling a bit burnt out." They're seeing the rise of it, and so they think, well, okay, right, I can do that, right? So they're putting on their website whatever it is that they're coaching. I am seeing marketing coaches, social media coaches. I'm seeing business coaches, growth coaches, performance coaches. Any single type of coach is then including the word burnout somewhere, either in their socials, on their LinkedIn headline, on their anywhere on their website. And just because somebody's put, "I can stop you getting to burnout," does not mean that they are a burnout coach. And what a lot of these coaches are talking about, I still get it, right? I get people saying to me, would you partner with us? We've just created this time management app. It stops burnout, and we'd love for you to be able to be a partner with us. And I'll look at the app, and it has nothing to do with burnout at all. Burnout isn't a time management issue. Burnout is not a calendar management issue. Burnout runs much, much more deep than that. But yeah, everybody's like, well, I can stop burnout. I have had telephone companies. I still can't remember what the actual thing is, but the VoIP telephones. If anybody knows what that actually stands for, let me know. But I've seen lots of people like VoIP telephone providers that like this will save you burnout. I have seen VAs and assistants and accountants work with us and we'll stop you getting to burnout, right? We stop the burnout. They don't. They manage your diary. They take phone calls. They manage your accounts. They do not stop burnout. And again, when we see just people using the word, don't get caught up in it. right? This is the burnout buzzword bingo brigade. They see the word, they think, let's stick that on the website, looks really, really great. But nothing they are selling will actually stop you and or anybody else getting to burnout in the first place. And it matters, right? We need to be calling this out more, because the more that we see people just throwing the word around, the more that those that actually need the help and support and the guidance and the coaching, and they need to see things change, the more they just see the word being kind of thrown around with it. Well, I think, well, I can't be a burnout, right? That can't be it. That's not what I'm experiencing. I don't need time management. I don't need a new phone. I don't need an accountant to help me with this stuff, right? I don't need another way to color code my diary. I don't need more delegation skills, or I don't need more resilience training, right? I know it's not that. And so actually what I'm feeling or what I'm experiencing can't be burnout, because it's not going to be fixed just with that one thing. Right. So we need to be really careful with that element, right? So the first type of burnout coach I'm seeing are just the buzzword burnout, or the bingo. How did I say it? Burnout buzzword bingo brigade. That's how I said it, right? So we need to be careful with those that are just literally using the word to throw it around all over their marketing, right? And I think we need to be calling this out more. How is this actually going to stop burnout? And that's what I always get back to. Oh, well, it'll help. That's not burnout, right? It's just not burnout. What lots and lots of these companies are talking about. The second type of coach then that we see are the burnout experience coaches. And when I talk about this category, these are the coaches that have lived experience of burnout. And that is where their expertise and their knowledge stops. They've experienced it. They've lived it. Maybe they have come through the other side. Maybe they are still going through their own recovery. And then they think, okay, I'm going to turn my entire world on its head. I'm going to leave my career. I'm going to start something else. And now I'm going to stop other people getting to the point of burnout. And there's no shade on those coaches. But again, what a lot of them are missing is the full understanding of what burnout is. And they are missing the full experience, because for lots of them, they're jumping straight into, I can help others and I can fix others. And by the way, we do not fix people as coaches. And we definitely do not fix people as burnout coaches. But they're out there like, I'm going to save you now. Right? I'm going to save you from getting to the point of burnout because I've lived it. I've come through the other side. And now I'm going to help you live your best life. Now I'm going to help you set up your own business. Now I'm going to help you climb mountains. I'm going to help you be the best version of yourself. I'm going to do all this. And a lot of these lived experience coaches are coming straight out of the firing blocks into, I'm going to help you live and create your best life, your best business, your best career, your best fill in the gaps here. But burnout, actual burnout, can take months, if not years, to recover from. And a lot of the experienced coaches are jumping straight into, I can solve the problem for everybody else. And, and I'm not going to say I was immediately there with that. I didn't set out to start working with people with burnout. What I started to do was share more of my story, and more people were then coming to me to say, can you coach me through the same thing? I cover in another video all of that and what I had to learn along the way with that, because a lot of coaching tools, the standard coaching tools that we get taught and trained in, do not work with burnout, at least not in the very, very early stages. So I'll cover that in another video. But these lived experience coaches are very often coming straight out of the kind of, I suppose, the starting blocks of burnout, right? Their recovery has started. They think, I'm going to do this for everybody else. But we see them then drop off again 6 months' time or a year later. And then they start, so I hadn't fully recovered from burnout. Now I've been through it again. Now I've learned even more of a lesson. And now here's my next business or my next iteration of what it is that I'm going to do to help you and to stop you then making the same mistakes that I did. But they can continue to keep going through this cycle. They can find themselves in a habitual burnout cycle, because what they don't do, the deep part, right, the actual expertise part that's missing, is that they do not understand what is causing their burnout. They don't understand what actually is causing it at the root. They don't understand what it takes to actually recover properly. And because they don't understand actually what's causing it and then what is helping that recovery, they continue to just keep doing the same thing over and over again. So I think actually it is just time management. It's about delegation. It's about setting better boundaries. Now, if we are in true burnout, boundaries actually not just feel, but can be impossible for us to set. They can be impossible for us to stick to, because in true burnout, our brain, like the inbuilt safety system within our brain, that fight, flight, freeze is constantly in survival mode. What we don't want, if we are in kind of right on the brink of, in the peak of, or just coming through burnout, we don't want to go straight into goal setting and creating our best life. It might sound great on paper, and we might think, actually, that is exactly what it is that I need. But we have to learn to start from a point of safety and calm. And only when we're in that point of calm and safety can we then start setting the goals, improving performance, taking those steps to really, really move us forwards. And again, a lot of coaches that just have the lived experience are missing that step. They're going straight into vision boarding. Let's find your purpose. Let's create your best life. Like what's your perfect day? Where do you want to be? Where are you going? But they're missing the pre-work in order to make all of that coaching stuff really successful. That doesn't mean what they're doing is wrong, but they're missing some of those really, really important steps and stages at the beginning to then ensure that their clients are not getting to the point of burnout. But again, they're using burnout a lot in all of their marketing, all of their socials, everything that they're talking about, because they want to say, I've been at burnout and now I can stop you doing the same. And we are seeing again, aren't we, like the rise in story selling, right? This is my story, and this is therefore why you need to buy from me. This is why I am the best coach for you. This is why it is what you need to do. And so they're really sharing their burnout story. They're saying what it was like to be at rock bottom. And then they're saying, and this is where I was 3 or 6 months ago. It takes longer than 3 or 6 months to come through burnout effectively. And without truly understanding what got you there in the first place and what's going to stop you getting there again, you and your clients could end up in another burnout, or you will just end up continuing to go round and round and round in this habitual burnout cycle. And all of this matters because ultimately, as coaches, right, particularly if we're doing it from this was my story and I can stop you getting there too, in my mind, right, we have to be ethically correct in that. We have to be morally correct in that. We have to say what we can and can't do, because clients at burnout and those that are just coming through it, right, will be some of the most vulnerable that we will work with. And I know I did a video about this just a few days ago. I know that when you are coming out of burnout, like you will like spend anything and do anything to get yourself through it. And so you'll sign up for the coach that says, I can get this to you, but it doesn't hit the mark. So then you're looking for the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And you're trying every possible therapy and every possible type of coaching. In my case, I spent tens of thousands of pounds in the very early stages. I've spent hundreds of thousands of pounds since, a lot of it on stuff that I did not need and did not want, but the marketing was great. And I thought, actually, this is what I need, right? I thought this was going to fill the gap for me, fill the space for me. This was going to be the thing that was actually going to help me come through burnout. And then I learned really what it was that was going to come through burnout. And now that's what I train and teach coaches to help their clients to spot and see, so that hopefully we can then stop this burnout cycle. But clients that are in this will be some of the most vulnerable. They will literally pay. If your story hits it, this was my experience, I can now do it for you, they're handing over the money, whether they can afford it or not. They are giving you the money, they're handing over the credit card, they're getting themselves in debt because they trust what you are saying. And so if you are coming at it from a lived experience perspective, but you do not have all of the understanding of all of the pre-work that needs to be done before you start with the goal setting, then I'm sorry, in my mind, you are not ethically coaching, supporting, or helping your clients, because lived experience does not equal expertise. And again, we need to be really, really clear on that point. Okay. The third type of coach then that we see now, these are again what I and seemingly it's a phrase that I have created, right? It's a term that I have created. But you don't just have to have worked with me or train with me in order to fit into this category. And I am going to explain why. So in my mind, these are burnout informed coaches. Now, I specifically train and accredit burnout informed coaches in the Burnout Academy. And burnout informed coaches are, for me, coaches that are not specifically setting out to say I work with burnout, right? That's the kind of, I suppose, the precursor that was coming. They are not specifically saying I am a burnout coach, but they are burnout informed. And these coaches might be career coaches, business coaches, executive coaches, coaches for founders, coaches for leaders, coaches for managers. You might be a strengths coach. You might be an insights coach. You might be a coach specifically for HR or marketing or product leaders. You might be a specific coach for founders, right? You have your niche, if you like, right? Your expertise, the area in which you coach, you are brilliant at. You've got the tools, you've got the frameworks, you're brilliant, you're getting, all the success for your clients. You've got, maybe you are accredited and certified and you've got all of the skills and experience and able to do that. And yet you realize that more and more of your clients are coming to you and or experiencing burnout, and you want to be able to help these clients that are coming to you with burnout. So you train in and or become accredited in or certified in truly understanding what burnout is and what burnout isn't, how we can spot it, how clients might be talking about it, the impact that it has on clients when they're coming into sessions. Now, this category of coaches, right, these burnout informed coaches are what I wish I had had back in 2013. I've experienced two periods of burnout. The first was in 2013 that made me really, really seriously ill. And in 2015, my second period of burnout nearly killed me. Now, I genuinely believe that if my coaches that I'd been working with in 2013 and again in 2015, if they had been able to spot my burnout, I absolutely believe it would have been prevented. Now, burnout informed coaching it's not therapy. It's not stepping outside of the realms and the ethics and the boundaries of coaching, but it is being able to spot the signs, adapt the coaching to, again, remember what I said a few moments ago, right, in terms of being able to get clients into a point of safety. So it is creating that point of safety for clients and then going back into the goal setting and the performance and the moving forwards. And ultimately, right, coaching is about the goal setting and the performance and moving people forwards. And yet, if we do not know how to spot burnout, if we are missing burnout when it's in the room and we just continue to go with the goals and the performance, this is where your clients are ghosting you. They are falling off. They're falling off sessions. They're not making any progress in between sessions. They say all of the right things in the session and they come to the next session like, I haven't done anything. And you might start to think then, well, it's just because you're really uncommitted. Or clearly, are you in this coaching relationship or not, right? You told me that you were going to do this. You told me that you were ready. We agreed this. We signed up for this. We contracted with this together. And yet you're not making any progress. It's not, you might not necessarily be saying this out loud, but you're like, it's not because I'm not a great coach, right? So what's the issue? Clearly you're not committed enough as the client. And that's not the issue. The issue is very likely, particularly with so many people experiencing burnout at the moment, with so many people living in this habitual burnout cycle, the burnout informed coaches know how to spot it. They know how it's showing up in sessions. They know how to adapt the questioning, right? We cannot think our way out of burnout. We have to feel our way through burnout. And again, what I teach coaches in is how to adapt their coaching. And I teach a lot of additional skills and techniques and tools to help clients continue to make progress. And we don't need to call it out. We're not diagnosing. Burnout informed coaches do not diagnose, right? And again, as I said, lots of people out there may not have trained with me and they may fall into this category, but they will have done training to understand what burnout is and what it isn't. Now, you can't say burnout informed. Again, that sits within the Burnout Academy, but they might be talking about burnout awareness. They may have done some CPD courses or CPD training with other burnout coach providers. So they might have more of an understanding about what burnout is. So burnout informed, it does not mean that you are a burnout coach. You are a specialist coach in your own specialism, with your own niche, working with your own clients, and you have additional skills and tools and frameworks and techniques and knowledge and understanding of what burnout is, so that if you begin to spot some of the signs, or clients come to you as they are coming through the other side of burnout, that you have everything that you need, the tools and techniques to be able to support them and coach them through that. And or you have enough of the awareness and enough information to refer them to other professionals that may be able to support them either at the same time or alongside the coaching that you are doing with them. Okay, burnout informed is a code of ethics, right? It's a way of working that says, I see burnout, I spot burnout, I know what my role is with burnout, and then I can help my clients through it. Right, that's burnout informed. Then we have our final fourth type of burnout coach. Right now, for me, these are master burnout coaches as far as I'm concerned. Again, this is what I train. Coaches spend, or aspiring master burnout coaches come and spend 12 months with me, and we work through every single thing, give them everything that I have learned and trained in and qualified in and studied and researched over 12 years. They get all of the burnout stuff and all of the coaching skills as well, right? So I train and accredit them as, if you like, executive coaches with all of the burnout in information in between, right? So they can actually say they are burnout coaches. With the time frame and the hours and the commitment that they put into it, it falls into the master category. But again, there will be other coaches that have trained with other providers that will likely fall into this category, right? So they have trained specifically in working with and supporting and helping clients at burnout. Their niche is coaching people either in preventing burnout or coming through the other side of burnout. Okay, so these are the ones with the skills and the knowledge and the expertise. They understand what burnout is. And for a lot of them that fit into this category, their role is helping with the prevention. So maybe somebody has come to them that is, I think I'm on the brink of burnout. How do I get out of it? So you coach in the prevention, and or I've been at burnout and now I need to know what to do to come through the other side. So I suppose this fourth category is the most specific. These are the ones that are specifically working with burnout, working with clients at burnout, helping with the prevention and or helping with the recovery. Now, again, not just people that have trained with me. They may have trained with other providers. They may have some more kind of clinical skills, clinical training. They may have more of a psychology background and they've been working much more with burnout, and they may have been working with stress. But again, I want to point out here, I have trained professors and doctors and coaches and therapists and leaders and managers. I've spoken to groups of doctors and nurses and, therapists and psychotherapists and professionals to get them to understand what burnout is. Because again, I understand what burnout, I understand what stress does to the brain. I understand what clients need when they're in stress. Lots of professionals that work in this field have then maybe worked with trauma, and yet they may not have specifically worked in understanding what burnout is, the short-term and long-term impact of burnout, understanding the cognitive impact that burnout can have on us. I suppose the purpose of this video today, I hope that has been helpful in understanding these four different categories. But again, I think for us as coaches and for us as clients, right, we need to be understandable. We need to be asking. So as I started by saying at the beginning, clients on the brink of or coming through the other side of burnout can be some of the most vulnerable clients that we will work with. And as coaches, I absolutely believe we need to be really clear on what we can and cannot work with. We need to be really clear in understanding what burnout is. Now, I do a lot in the space of burnout education, burnout awareness, getting people to understand, again, what burnout is and what burnout isn't. That for me is really, really important, because For a lot of people, what we see, Bennett, is we see the World Health Organization definition that tells us it's a workplace phenomenon. Lots of leaders say it's not a workplace phenomenon, it's just lack of resilience. And then we go into a whole roller coaster of that. Again, I've got lots of other content and stuff challenging a lot of that, and really explaining what burnout is, what it does to the brain, what it does to the body, how long it can take to recover from, how it impacts decision making. All of that stuff you will find on my channels or my website or in my podcast. You'll find all of that stuff somewhere. But for a lot of people, for a lot of leaders, for a lot of coaches, for a lot of clients, we misunderstand what burnout is in the first place. And in doing so, in having that misunderstanding, we are then miscommunicating, miscoaching what it is that we are trying to help clients with. And that is where we need to get better at. We need to understand what burnout is and what burnout isn't. If you are looking for a burnout coach because you are in the depths of burnout, I would absolutely be looking for that fourth category. Now, I have on my website, it's continuing to grow and change all of the time, but you will find on my website, kellyswinkler.com, you will find under the Find a Coach tab, I'll pop a link somewhere around this video, you will find the directory of coaches that have trained with me, that have continued to train with me, and that are the ones that I trust enough to be able to start referring clients to when it comes to looking for coaching. So if you're on the brink of burnout or coming through the other side, I would say that, you need to be looking for that fourth category. If you want referrals, head to kellyswinkler.com, go to the Find a Coach. You will find the list of those coaches that I know and trust. I've trained over 150 coaches now from 14 countries. Not all of them are on my website for a variety of different reasons. Some are still completing their accreditation. Some haven't continued with the CPD. Some have decided that they just don't want to be on there, for a variety of different reasons. But if you are looking for that, and feel free to reach out to me, like, where can I find some of these coaches? What is it that I'm looking for? Either myself or a member of my team will help in any way that we can. I am absolutely passionate about the fact that we have to get this right. I know the consequences of getting this wrong. I've lived with the consequences of getting it wrong for over 12 years. I want to ensure that we are not allowing anybody else to fall into that same category. But as I said, I do hope that has been a useful video. If it has, if you want to find out more about burnout, if you want to find out more about becoming a burnout informed coach, if you want to find out more about coaching ethics and why I think every coach needs to be burnout informed, then maybe subscribe to this video, subscribe to the channel, give it a like, give it a share. If this has been helpful, do stick around, do share it, and I will hope to see you again soon. And if you want to find out how burnout aware you are, head to kellyswinkler.com, go to the start here, and I can link it around this video, but just take the short quiz, right? Find out how burnout aware you are, and it will give you some pointers of maybe some things that you need to be more and or less aware of in your coaching to help you be the coach that your clients absolutely deserve. I'm going to say thanks very much for watching, and hopefully I will see you again next time. Take care for now.